Today we are going to be going over 10 spot-on fragrance clones that absolutely blew my mind. When I smelled each of these for the first time, immediately I was so impressed with how close they come to the original thing that they're trying to clone, especially when you factor in the price that I paid for each one of these in comparison to that of what the original is going for. And it isn't always price either. For a few of these clones, availability is the main aspect behind purchasing the clone rather than the real deal. Maybe the real deal isn't too crazy expensive, it's within your budget, but it's sold out, it's exclusive, it's hard to get all over the place, and so you go for the clone instead because that's something you can actually purchase. There's a lot of utility to these clones and they are only becoming more and more popular and they're only getting better and better. I've said it before, but within the past few years, these clone brands have really stepped it up and they are producing some amazing products for great competitive prices. I did purchase all of these myself with my own money, went into them completely blind, not knowing if they were going to be good or not, and these turned out to be amazing, and I'm going to share them here with you today. I will link these down below so you can pick these up at the prices I'm talking about here in this video. I recommend going through discounters. I mean, that's really going to be your only option with clones, but if you were to pick up the real deals of any of these, I would also recommend going through discounters so that way you can save at least a little bit of money. And I also have a mailing list you can sign up to. The fact of the matter is, sometimes with these clones, they become so popular, they become a victim of their own success, and they can be a little bit tough to get sometimes. They sell out quick, they might be sitting sold out for a while. So if you want to have first dibs and you want to be notified right away anytime any of these come into stock that might be sold out or just in general on the market, your La Nuit de L'Homme Bleu Electrique, Dior, Homme Parfum, things like that, hit the first link down below, put in your email address. Anytime something good and hot comes up, I send out an email. You won't regret it. Let's get things kicked off with Supreme L'Homme Eau de Parfum by Fragrance World. Yes, this is what it looks like and what it sounds like. It is a Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum clone, and it's a really good one. It has that cherry almond combination down to a T here, which is what that DNA is known for, and it is a fantastic option for you. It's a little bit less than half the price of the real deal. You cannot go wrong with this one. If you are a fan of L'Homme Ideal EDP, you will get hooked on this one right away because of how well they nailed that signature combination. I love that stuff. I think it's a fantastic scent. This DNA is unique, it's different, and this one here is no exception. Next up we have HARAMAIN Amber Oud Carbon Edition. So this is actually going to be a green Irish tweed clone by Creed. Now there's a few on the market. This one's a little bit more expensive, a little bit more premium. Cheaper one would be something like ARMAF NUIT, which is fantastic. It's right around $20, 100 mil, and an eau de parfum now. Used to be an EDT, but they did change that over. And it's great as well. Have no issues with Très Nuit. I've featured it before. I will continue to feature it. However, I do like the HARAMAIN here, and one thing about this one is it truly is a little bit more premium smelling. It does get a little bit more of that grassy green texture down. You know, there's a little bit more of a vibrant sparkle to this one. The quality is a little bit better. You're paying a bit more for it, but you get a better product. And at the end of the day, it still doesn't even come close to touching the price of the Creed. As soon as I got this one in and tried it, thought it was fantastic. I knew right away what it was a clone of, which is always a good sign. And if you want a more premium GIT clone, and this is kind of the time of year for it right now, this is one you should look into. Let's keep it moving with Alhambra Yeah Eau de Parfum. So I'm sure this one probably is giving off plenty of hints as to what this is going after, and it's a Eau de Parfum clone. A few others on the market as well. There is, what is it? It's LATTAFA Fakar. I was completely drawing a blank there, which is an Eau de Parfum. It's a great clone as well. It's what I got in first, and then we have this one here, Maison Alhambra. So this one's amazing as well. What you're going to get out of this one primarily is a presentation that looks more so like the Eau de Parfum and less like a straight up clone brand presentation. For some that matters, for others it doesn't. For me, if it's a good enough clone, you know, it doesn't matter to me. But I do like the appeal of having a presentation which does look more designer level and does kind of emulate what it's cloning. Ultimately, it gets that apple, sage, amberwood DNA down really, really close. This DNA is amazing. It's not going anywhere, and it's a must-have. In my opinion, you got to have something that smells like Eau de Parfum in your collection. And next up, we are going to cover a clone of one of the most popular niche scents, at least right now on the market. It's not Aventus. That's coming up in a minute. But it's Parfums de Marly Layton. You know, that's one that overall has gotten great reviews. I was late to it because I saw the hype and immediately I was like, I'm going to wait on it. I do that often, except for the new releases. I buy those when they come out before there's any hype anyway. But whenever I see something like that pop up and I'm not the first to it and I see hype, just like I'm sure you guys, you kind of start feeling that maybe it's just all bogus, right? And so I feel the same way oftentimes. But, you know, with Layton, for me, it's the opposite of that. It really is amazing. Issue is, it's expensive, but it doesn't have to be. You can get HARAMAIN DETOUR NOIR for right around $35 for 100 ml, and it is a fantastic Layton clone. Also, another one I've talked about here on the channel is Amber Oud Exclusive Blue. It's an extrait de parfum. It's a more premium, expensive smelling version of Layton as well. Also one that completely blew me away. I kind of wanted to juggle back and forth between some more premium level clones and some more affordable ones, and so I wanted to toss this one in first. After all, this was the first Layton clone that I got in that really did blow me away, even more than something like Lalique White and Black. This one just did it for me, and so I'm sticking with this. It's more affordable, and it is still a fantastic must-have option. Even if you have a bottle of Layton, you can buy this, you can wear it every day, not be burning a hole in your pocket. You can give it away to a friend if someone wants to, you know, smell like Layton, but they don't want to spend the money. This is an option. It's a great gift. It's a great air freshener. It's cheap enough to do so. Many options. You got to have this. Next up, we have LATTAFA SUQRAAT. Now, this is going to be a clone of Acqua di Gio Profumo, which, for whatever reason, has been a little bit tough to get lately. Coming in as an eau de parfum, not a parfum, not a huge deal though. It really does get that incense patchouli kind of aquatic smokiness down to an absolute T here. And it smells amazing. You know, when I saw this one listed on Fragrance By, they have the name of it and then they have Profumo Twist in parentheses. And they often do this to kind of help guide you in terms of what the clone may smell like or be inspired by. I love that they do it. But when I saw that, you know, there's a few other Profumos out there. I didn't know if it was going to be Acqua di Gio Profumo. My first thought was Armani Code Profumo. There's a few other Profumos as well, and so I wasn't for sure. But as soon as I got this one in, I knew right away, and I was ecstatic. There aren't really any other clones of Acqua di Gio Profumo. There might be a couple out there now. I think Fragrance World might have one, but up until recently, your only choice was to go out and buy the real thing, which is pretty expensive, even below retail at discounters, still well up above $100. This one comes in and it solves that problem, right around $35, maybe a little bit. I don't know. It might not be more than that. It might even be a little bit less. Really affordable, very reasonable, great clone. And speaking of that Aventus clone, I had to toss one in. You know, this one's ARMAF Club de Nuit Intense Limited Edition Parfum. The names are getting ridiculous, but this one is worth it. Trust me. ARMAF Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. We'll run that back one more time. That's what it is. Not just the parfum, which is good. Not talking the eau de toilette, which is a trusty OG. It's good. The opening is not so good, but the dry down is great. Not talking the eau de parfum, which is also very good and an improvement over the eau de toilette. Talking the limited edition parfum. It's the smoothest. It's the sweetest. I almost sprayed myself in the face. And it's one of the best Aventus clones out there on the market, which is saying something because there are a ton. And guess what? I have a lot of them as well. Just about all of them at this point. This one kind of is a hybrid clone. You get some smoky aspects, which is pretty much non-existent in any new batch of Aventus these days, but going way back to 2010, 2012, things of that nature, Aventus that did have that smokiness, you get that birch tar. Then you get that real nice, bright, sweet fruitiness that newer batches of Aventus are focusing on. All mixed into one. It's a great one to have. It's a little bit more expensive, but with that price, you do get a better product. It's a great Aventus clone. Next up, we have VOUX ELEGANTE by Paris Corner. It's EMIR VOUX ELEGANTE. So this is going to be your Naxos clone. And interestingly enough, you know, sometimes they'll do this. They're kind of aiming for that presentation a little bit. You know, definitely has the frosted glass. The bottle is, I would say, about equally as heavy as Naxos. These are really thick glass. Same golden cap, same golden plaque on the front. Shaping is a little bit off, obviously, but, you know, it kind of does a good job of alluding to it, and it gives you that fancy kind of high-end look for about $35 as well, at least under $40. I know that for sure. Great one. It's all about the tobacco, the honey. It's dusty, it's powdery, but it's also syrupy, sweet, rich, very luxurious, very high-end, very expensive smelling. There's a reason why Naxos sells out lightning fast every time it hits discounters, usually for around 170, 180, sometimes testers for 150, and we're talking 100 mil. Crazy good price for it. It flies quick, and there's a reason for it. If you don't want to be spending that type of money, though, you can get this one, which is going to get you very close. You're going to have that presentation that kind of, you know, emulates it a little bit. It's a great clone to have around. Next up, we have ARMAF FUTURA La Homme. So this is actually a Dior Homme clone. So not Dior Homme 2020. We're talking Iris Dior Homme, which is amazing. So it's either Dior Homme 2011 or Dior Homme Original. Take your pick. It's a clone of that DNA. Dior Homme Original is a re-release, but it's very hard to get as well, just as so 2011. So this is going to be, I don't know, I think it's a $30 to $40 option for you. So you can, you know, not only save a lot of money, but you have a better chance of being able to get a bottle for yourself. And I have to say, it's very close. Going into it, I wasn't too sure how good it was going to be. I think this iris type of particular iris here, it can be a little bit hard to get down, but they did do a good job of representing that iris. It has a little bit of that lipsticky, makeup baggy Dior Homme Intense twist, but very much overhauls and goes towards the fresher end of an actual Dior Homme. So it's going to be much fresher than the other sweet ones out there. This is very versatile stuff. It's perfect to wear day-to-day, work, school, whatever. If you want something a little bit more classy, sophisticated, and high-end kind of smelling, something that's going to set you apart, this DNA is great, and this is a great one to have. Fragrance World, proud of you, Absolute. Yes, stronger with you, absolutely. Has that chestnut, has some of that boozy kick. Amazing. Love it. And then this is another one where the real deal is sold out all over the place all the time. Each time it hits discounters, I send out an email and it sells out half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes less. So it's hard to get, and it's expensive. You know, it's going to be up over that $100 price point when it does show up. This is one you can get for 40 or so, and it's going to be a little bit easier to get all the way around. Stronger With You, absolutely, to me, is the best of the line, even over the exclusive editions. The new Amber one is really good. I like the Oud one. I like them all, to be fair. I don't dislike any of the Stronger With Yous. I think they're all fantastic. But my favorite is Absolutely. And it just so happens to also be one of the hardest to get, which is generally how it works out. So I can't always feature it as much as I would like to. I try to feature things that you can purchase, but this is one clone that you can kind of get into and have a fighting chance of being able to get at that DNA. This last one only goes for right around $20. I think I've seen testers of this one for under that, $16, $17, maybe $18, somewhere around in there. Can't remember for sure if the testers include a cap. I don't think they do, but I could be wrong on that one. All I know is you can get this for next to nothing. Antonio Banderas, the icon. It is a really impressive clone of Sauvage. Just that Sauvage Dylan Blue DNA. It's good. I didn't expect it to be. Going into it, I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be just a complete mess. And sure, it doesn't have Dior quality, doesn't have Versace quality, but it is really good and definitely better than a lot of other things in this price point. And one thing that also really adds to it is this right here. You hear that click? You hear that atomizer? There's something about this atomizer that is so satisfying. And if it was on, a $100 bottle, I wouldn't think twice about it. But on a $20 or less than $20 bottle, That's a great atomizer. Smells fantastic up in the air. This is going to be a people pleaser, and it's a great affordable blue scent that does really go after some of the other big popular ones out there, just at a fraction of the price. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fragrance clones that absolutely blew me away the first time I smelled them. They're very close and they're worth having if you do want to save some money. Links will be down below and deals will be going out to my mailing list as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.